Was 2023 even worth it for the hobby? We spend a lot of money on these games. It's an expensive hobby, especially in the crowdfunding scene. And looking back on 2023, looking forward to 2024, wrapping up the year, I asked myself, was it worth it? Now, I don't mean to be too negative in this video, but I do mean to be a little realistic, a little self-reflective, because I feel it'll make me be a better backer in 2024. Hopefully will for you. And I have a question I want you to actually ask yourself and actually come up with an answer. I think it's very important. But first, I'm just going to list some of the games that delivered this year. Just some. There's plenty more. Feel free to think of others that you received. But off the top of my head, I made this list. We got Orquest way back when, right? Tenaris Adventures, Lords of Ragnarok, Scarface 1920, Injustice, Witcher the Old World. We had Shadows of Brimstone Adventures. Arceus finally delivered. Resident Evil, Monster Hunter World, Marvel Zombies, Deep Rock Galactic, and again, so many more. That's a lot of games. Even if you just got a small portion of that, or even some others I didn't even list. It's a lot of money, it's a lot of investment from you, and a lot of game. As you can see, we got plenty. I got plenty behind me. I got way more over here you can't even see off screen. I got plenty. This time of year, I tend to run a fundraiser, and that'll be coming up soon. And thank you for any support that you do contribute towards that. It's greatly appreciated because this is an expensive hobby for sure. But in doing so, I go through my collection and kind of cull through the stuff that I'm ready to give to one of the community members, one of you guys, one of the donors to the fundraiser. And in doing so, I kind of look critically at all of my games. You know, which ones do I want to keep? Which ones don't? Which ones have I played recently? Which ones have I not? And I started to realize I was picking not just old games, but games that I've had less than a year. What the heck's up with that? You know, we back these games and we spend so much on them. They're $150 minimum price nowadays, it seems, you know, half the time. And sometimes more, up to $180, sometimes less. Maybe you even get one for $100. Like, that's a cheap thing. $100. And I look at this list here and I think about some of the games that I've gotten. And I think about, well, how many of those are you still playing? Go ahead and think about it. Of the games that you received this year, how many have you already moved off of? They didn't even last a year. Now, I'm not of the mindset that some people have that, like, games have to last forever. That every game should be infinitely playable, infinitely enjoyable, and 99 years from now, you can pass it on to your great-grandchildren on your deathbed and say, here, you can keep playing this. And they'll, like, dust it off and pick up the, like, tokens that don't disintegrate and, like, you know, try and play it with, like, gloves or something. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I know there's people that are like that, right? Like the chess, the checkers, all the Euro games, all that kind of stuff. I get it. I think there's a place for it, but I think there's a place for just really good experiences that you play through and then you're done. I used to hark on, like, legacy games a lot for the destructive nature. While I don't agree with a purposeful destructiveness just to, you know, like, to say it's more impactful or whatever. It's just not my cup of tea. It's kind of like a single save file in a video game. I don't like that either. I'm not for it. That's not me personally, but I get some people do. But I do support I've played through it. I've played through the campaign. I don't have a desire to play through it again, and that's totally fine. I had a great time with it. Ideally, assuming I even completed the campaign. How many campaigns did you complete of like board games, not of like Kickstarters and GameFound and BackerKit, stuff like that? I mean, let's be honest here. How much of these games are you still playing less than a year from now? You got the game, you backed it, you waited the 2 years or whatever it took to deliver. It delivers, and you play it, and hopefully you love it. And how quick do you move on? I'd love to hear your answers to that. Are there games that you are still playing that delivered, or did you move on from pretty much everything you got this year and you're ready for the next one? How much did it all cost you? I mean, I'm not one to total up everything because it makes me depressed. But sometimes even single purchases hurt me, right? So I backed the Sins of Heracles, the like expansions to the Anthrus Odyssey, because I loved Anthrus Odyssey, had a lot of fun with it. I'm holding off on the rest of it for now because they're sending so many cool updates like the binder and stuff like that that are going to make it super nice. So excited for that. But it also means I've held off on it again. And yet, I dropped like $550 on this stupid thing. And I realized I could have bought like a second PlayStation so my kids don't take it all and hog it all and I can't play my games anymore. You know, I could have bought a nice big old, screen TV. $500 will buy you a cheap 70-inch TV these days. That's crazy. $500. You know what I could do with $500? Literally anything but buy a board game I won't get for 2 years. That's what I could do for $500. Now, I am okay with my purchase. Deep down, while it hurts me to spend that kind of money on a game, I love it. Like, I know Antros Pass Odyssey. I know I enjoyed it. I know my family enjoyed it. And I know I'll continue to enjoy it someday, maybe, I guess. Again, how many games have you moved on? How much did it all cost? And a final kind of food for thought that I have, at least, is, did you get your money's worth? Was it worth it? If somebody could say, I will take that gameplay away, that game that you didn't have, like you no longer got to play it, but I'll give you back the $300, the $400, the $500, the $600 that you spend for it. Would you take that deal? Looking back on it, be like, you know what? Yeah, I wish I hadn't played that. I would rather have had the 600 or the 500 or whatever it is. That's a tough one. I often think, yeah, that was worth it. But then I think about that situation, right? So I've played the game, I enjoyed it, and so it says, I will give you $400 back, but you would have never played that. I did the 400. Now, part of that is maybe just me wanting whatever's here now, right? Like, this campaign is cool. This game is cool. It just delivered. That campaign just launched. You're offering me money right now. The cult of the new, right, is very much a thing. Perhaps it's a little bit of that, but only a little bit. I think there's some truth to the hindsight. Was it worth actually the money that you spent? Let me know your thoughts. Again, I don't mean to make this like depressing or anything like this. I love the hobby and I have a lot of fun with it, or I wouldn't spend the money to begin with. I wouldn't be doing this YouTube channel, that's for sure. However, it does make me kind of reflect on this a little bit. And I'm hoping, come 2024, I make good decisions. I'm hoping, come 2024, I can help you make good decisions. Now, that doesn't mean just don't back stuff, right? I don't think you can celebrate this hobby by not enjoying this hobby. And if you enjoy something and you want to celebrate it and you have fun in this space, well, yeah, I mean, invest in it, right? I mean, that only makes sense. Invest in what you enjoy in life. You only get the one life, you may as well enjoy it, right? But how best to do that? Is it through buying super expensive crowdfunded board games? I'm not so sure. That's always going to be the answer. I think in select cases, yes. But I don't know if I can spend thousands on this next year or not. I mean, I will, if nothing else, because part of it's the channel, right? Like I cover games and I cover the industry, and to do that, you got to really kind of know what you're talking about and show off stuff and really understand things. And I enjoy it and love it, and you guys provide a way for me to do that through this fundraiser, and I do appreciate that. This isn't advertising for that, by the way. It's just like I wouldn't do it without that, because it's way too much money. That's kind of the whole point. Like, this is an expensive hobby. So the only way I could possibly show you guys stuff is either accept anything and everything I can get for free, and really sell myself out to get that, which I get some for free, but I spend thousands on this industry every single year. And looking back each year, I'm like, I don't know. And maybe that's just my personality. I tend not to like to spend money, just like personally, especially on me. I like buying things for other people. So especially if I know like my kids are going to like it or my wife is going to like it, I love spending that money and allowing them to enjoy that board game or that experience that we had together or whatever. But just because I think a game looks cool, I don't know. And again, maybe this is me, but yeah. How many games are you still playing this year? How many of these games are actually lasting, worth it? Did you get your money's worth out of it? Don't know. Let me know your thoughts, obviously. More fun videos coming up, of course. Still are working on that big 2024 video. Been talking to a lot of devs recently, getting a lot of good information, making sure that that's a great video for you. So stay tuned for that. Do subscribe if you haven't, so you get to see that video, so you know what's coming out next year, and you can make a plan accordingly. You can budget it even and realize, oh, this is coming Q1, this is coming Q2, this is down the line somewhere, I got to save up for that. That way you make the best decisions you can. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you guys out. Hopefully I can. Sorry for this depressive video, but it's been on my mind lately. I wanted to kind of get your feedback on it too. What do you think on all of this? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Guys, have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye, guys.